So,
why wasn't I recording all of that?
I was taking note.
Yeah, we're there now, so
Where there's original. What's up, Boxscore Boomers? We're coming at you live with our recap of Week 10. You know how we do it. We talk about that collegiate football. We got a lot of ballers going on out there. You know, ballers in school, so ballers and scholars. But I'm going to give you a little rundown like I do every week. It was a pretty exciting week again. You know, every week it's exciting in college because there's like 50 to 100 games. So rest assured someone's going to rush for over 200 yards. And then this guy is going to tell you all about it. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump right in to the running backs. So this is Sincere McCormick, University of Texas, San Antonio. I like the name, Sincere McCormick. I want to trust him. Feels like a trustworthy guy. But he's a junior, 5'9", 205. He had 21 rush attempts for 169 yards and 1 touchdown up against UTEP. So that's not like a major Boomers box score, but I like this guy a lot because this year he's 7th in yardage with 1,467 and 11 touchdowns. Pretty good. But last year he was number 2.
Oh wow!
In all of college rushing. It was like this. I'm gonna tell you the list because it blew my mind when I was looking into this. For some reason, I saw how great. So that 1,400 yards was last year, but this year he's 7th, which is like puts him in the 800 range. Whatever, he's getting there. Anyway, so it goes Breece Hall number 1, Sincere McCormick number 2, then Najee Harris, Michael Carter, Khalil Herbert, Javonte Williams.
Oh wow!
And I'm like, okay, well, I will pay attention to this guy. Because, 5'9", 205, like, that's pretty good. That's a solid package right there.
That's that Aaron Jones size.
There you go. So, I thought I'd tell you guys, I sincerely believe in this dude all the way.
Sounds like like how I should have signed off on my college drunk text. Like, blah, 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 sincerely McCormick.
Sincerely McCormick. Yeah, it feels like it should be like, never mind. Like, I don't matter now. So
you're a boss now. Careful.
Fuck off, dude. Straight up. So Travis Dye out of Oregon. He's a junior, 5'10", 195. He went 28 rushing attempts for 211 yards and a touchdown against Washington. And this guy, got to do what he got to do. It's only his second game over 100 yards, but someone had to step up after C.J. Verdell got out. So he's doing pretty good. He scored 11 touchdowns, so he's getting it done. This is his first big game, but 11 touchdowns means he's reliable. Oregon's doing fine. So there you go. That's a little bit about him. My friend over here was talking about Sam Howell out of USC or UNC, and we will not be talking about him this week. But he mentioned that he was a rushing quarterback and had to step it up after Michael Carter and Javonte Williams, moved on to the NFL. And I was like, that's weird that you would say that because Ty Chandler, the UNC running back, senior, 6 foot, 200 pounds, just put up 213 yards for 4 touchdowns against Wake Forest. So, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. We've talked about this guy before. He's got 13 touchdowns this year, which is tied for 8th. And he played Tennessee 4 years and transferred to UNC this year.
Ah.
So he's got a pretty good resume with the Vols, and now he's volling out.
Volunteered his services to North Carolina?
Yeah, it's a short. He just went over the Appalachian Mountains. I was like, oh, cool. You guys
The Hickory Hills.
right here. Yeah. What's that? Pigeon Forge? No. Went past yeah. It's beautiful. Smoky Mountains, man. If you ever get a chance, get up in there. So, anyway, moving right along to a different part of the country, to Arizona State, where Rachaad White, a senior, 6'2", 210. It's a pretty good sized dude. He put up 202 yards and 3 touchdowns against USC. And
Damn.
fun thing here is guys from Kansas City, Missouri. So
That's awesome.
you'll be happy about that.
Those
you
are
know?
hashtag Benjamin kind of numbers.
Hey, wait, you know what? Sun Devils, you know? You go there and you do really, really well in college, and then maybe you have a good freshman year in the pros.
And then Kyle Shanahan. Gotcha.
Yeah. Just don't let this guy get drafted by the 49ers. So he's done all the Southern California play he needed to do last week. Anyway, so San Francisco's not even in Southern California, but
It's mid. It's northern. mid northern. It's a big state.
He's not really balling out in the per game yardage, but he does have 12 touchdowns this year, so effective. That's a big dude, so keep it real, keep an eye on it. I'm going to talk about DeWayne McBride, and this is a University of Alabama, Birmingham, a UAB fella. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 215. He had 210 yards on 14 carries.
Ooh,
and 4 touchdowns.
that's nice.
That is a 15 yard per carry average.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty good on a 14 sustainable. That was against Louisiana Tech. And then my last running back this week is another senior, Hassan Haskins out of Michigan. He's 6'1", 220. Yeah, he's pretty big. He put up 168 and a touchdown against Indiana. So I kind of had to circle back, get some top 25 teams in here. Not a lot of these teams are actually.
Is that your last running back?
Yeah.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Duece Vaughn out of Kansas State against KU. 11 attempts, 162 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
Damn, dude. That is also around 15 yards per attempt.
That's pretty good. Not to mention 6 receptions, 70 yards.
So that's what we love about Duece Vaughn is the receptions game, you know?
Oh, man.
You think he's going to be able to do it? Break out of that little shell?
We'll hope. I hope so, man. If not, he's going to play 4 years. He's just a sophomore. So he's got 2 more years at K-State. He's surely not going to forego those seasons to try to make it in the NFL. So I look forward to watching some more of him. 5'6", 172.
Yeah. That's generous, man. ESPN gives him 185, so I'll have to shave some pounds off of him.
Well,
He must have been wet.
He shaved off that freshman 15, bro.
Yeah, and then if you think about it, like these guys always, like the program reads higher. Like he probably weighs 148 or whatever.
Yeah.
So
Looking at you, Rachaad Bateman.
jeez, man. A little squirrely though. He's definitely looking the part. But speaking of looking the part, I'm going to start off the wide receivers with the number 1 in college yards right now. And that is Deven Thompkins out of Utah State, senior, a small person, a 5'8", 155. He had 9 catches for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns against New Mexico State. So look out for that. Next on the list is Jahan Dotson out of Penn State. He's a senior, 5'11", 184. He had 11 catches for 242 yards and 3 touchdowns against Maryland. He's tied for 6th in receiving touchdowns on the year. And I didn't run the average on that, but 11 for 242. That's 22. I guess it's 22-yard average. That was pretty easy math. My bad. Anyway, next up we got Jaxon Smith-Njigba out of Ohio State. He's a Buckeye.
Shit.
Sophomore, 6 foot, 197. He had 15 catches for 240 yards and a touchdown against Nebraska. So I know, that we know that Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave are some top-rated NFL prospects.
Yeah.
Or at least they were when Justin Fields was there. I say all this to say, this guy's leading the team in receiving yards. So it's always good to have a Buckeye in the chamber, buddy. Like, we got someone for next year. You know what I mean?
Someone's accumulating their 2023 draft picks.
You know it. If you're out there and you got people throwing them in, take them. Take those future picks because we got your boomers right here. I'm telling you, this is my new guy. I don't know if he's the sleeper or if whatnot. I don't know who's going to listen to this and snipe me in a rookie draft, but David Bell out of Purdue, I'm just drooling over this guy, man. He's a junior, 6'2", 205, 11 catches for 217 yards and a touchdown against Michigan State.
Not to mention 2-0 against number 2 rated teams in the country.
Yeah, so he's helping that in a big way. The thing I like about this guy is he only has 5 touchdowns, but he's top 10 in yards. So that means he's just getting it done.
11 for 217 and a touchdown. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's just crushing. He's crushing the universe. And then, I put a tight end. I got a tight end in the house. His name is Trey McBride, and he's out of Colorado State. He's a senior. It's 6'4", 260. He had 9 catches for 98 yards and 0 touchdowns against Wyoming. And, I got to tell you, despite only having 1 touchdown this year, McBride is actually the leading tight end in receiving yards, and he ranks 22nd in all of college football at the receiving yardage, amongst all positions, right? So for a tight end to be 22nd, that's pretty impressive. He's getting it done consistently, not really booming out too hard, but and obviously not scoring. I like red zone tight ends, something we talked about with Cole Turner a little bit. But
6 for 47 last week, by the way.
Yep. We're not going to talk about him until he responds to our emails, inviting him to join the show. We do remote, Zoom links, do whatever. We could even get teams if we had to, but we're pro Zoom. So anyway, we're going to move right into the quarterback room. We got Will Rogers, Mississippi State, and I have a little bit to say about Will Rogers and Mississippi State, but I'm not going to do it tonight. That's a teaser. We're coming back for you. He was up against Arkansas, 48 for 417 and 4 touchdowns. Pretty solid game there. We got Kenny Pickett out of Pitt. He was up against Duke. That's 43 for 416 and 3 touchdowns. Neither of those guys threw any picks, unlike Sam Hartman, Wake Forest, up against UNC. He had 51 for 398, 5 touchdowns, but threw 2 picks in the process. So that's that. You got to do what you got to do. So, yeah, Aidan O'Connell, Aidan O'Connell, though, is the man out of Purdue feeding David Bell all those hot looks. He's a senior, 6'3", 210. I didn't say the size on the last 3 guys because I already talked about them, and they're quarterbacks, so you don't have to go. They all exist. They have masks, so check them out. Anyway, though, Dean O'Connell, he had 40 for 536 and 3 touchdowns, so 536 yards.
Jesus.
Against Michigan State. The one thing to note about this guy is he's playing some pretty big name competition, in the Big Ten. It's going pretty well for him. He has the 4th best QBR in college football, so he doesn't really have like the numbers as far as touchdown yards, but he's playing smart. He's playing well. You can see it there. Obviously, balling out David Bell style, and that's that. But I'm gonna do a 2-for-1 here. I'm gonna talk about the Liberty Ole Miss game that I heard. Every NFL scout in the nation was at this game, right? To see Matt Corral play, and I think maybe more so to see Malik Willis play, the Liberty quarterback, because these guys are 2 pretty serious guys. It would have sucked to go to this game as a scout because neither of them did that great. Malik Willis threw 3 picks, only 173 yards. He did rush for 71 and to score, though, and that's kind of his thing. He's a mobile quarterback. And then Matt Corral did okay, 324 yards and a single touchdown. But these guys are not booming, but they had a pretty highly anticipated game, so more highly anticipated games coming up this week, man.
Yeah, man.
Pretty excited. I'm gonna have to negotiate. I'm gonna have to figure out a way to watch more college football.
I didn't realize how hot the college QB game was right now.
Oh yeah,
Whew.
getting spicy, man.
Kellen Mond, watch your toes.
Well, that's the thing, man. You can guarantee there's going to be at least 4 quarterbacks drafted in the first round.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
You got guys playing into their 40s, and then an average of a complete season or a complete league turnover every 8 years. If you take 4 in the first round, just as pure math, every 8 years, every team should have a fresh quarterback, but half of the quarterbacks are in their 30s, which means that a number of these guys aren't going to work out, which means next man up. Here we go. Dude. What up? Bring it to me.
I mean, you got teams signing Cam Newton.
Exactly. Yeah, Mike White, like Davis Mills. I don't even, it gets worse. So I think that the NFL is probably learning a thing or two about the value of a backup quarterback these days. Not that that's anything new, but
hashtag COVID.
Yeah. Hashtag gotta love Jordan Love. No. But anyway, plenty of talent out there. I love checking these guys out. I guarantee, eventually get a deeper analysis going. But I just get I'm just hungry. I would say, I don't know. I crave just knowing about all these guys. So I end up with a 20-person list, and I'm like, whoa. I guess my deep dive was in gathering all these names instead of specifics on individuals. But I did start to dive in a little on a few of these guys, and I won't mention next week. Come back next week. I got some backstories on some of these fellas. Just got to build up to it. So that's the Boxscore Boomers, man. This is a RDR Rough Draft Research affiliate.
Let's go.
Must love Diggs. I think there's one out there in college. Maybe we'll give you a little Doug's rundown.
University Alabama Birmingham.
Boom, UAB. He's a DB.
DB.
So he ain't that booming. But he might get a couple of picks or something.
Oh, say that to the other brother.
Yeah, that's true. I know we got other brothers too. See a lot of rush attempts going to that Georgia Cooks, young Cooks.
We'll see.
So Cook, I guess. But yeah,
don't need too many Cooks.
Oh shit. Well, like I said, keep it short and sweet. We love it, and hope you enjoy it yourselves. So thanks for joining us. We'll catch you on the flip side.